I'm the go-to guy if you want to kill a bill because, the majority, runs what they, what they want, their priorities. So I get a lot of people coming to me saying, how can we kill this? How can we refine it? This session in particular, I probably amended close to 10 bills. That's, I'm not going to say unheard of, but it's relatively unheard of that I've been able to do that. And I think I've earned a little bit of credibility, being a practicing lawyer for 33 years.
Right.
And then, bringing logic. Because I don't, there's some crime bills that I try to make them better, even though I'm going to have to work against it as a practitioner. The idea, when I go up there as a legislator, I take off my criminal defense hat as an advocate, right? I can't be there advocating for the guys that I represent. So, I mean, that's your typical day is, subcommittee, committee, and then constituent interviews and
when
advocacy.
When you want to push a bill or we're going to advocate for a bill, you get up in front of the House and you just advocate when the voting time comes? Is that how it works? I'm literally trying to speak for laymen that have no idea.
Yeah, sure. So the typical pathway for a bill to become a law is subcommittee hearing, and then committee hearing. So first you have to push for it to get into your subcommittee. And if the chair doesn't like your bill, you're DOA. Right? So you've got to get this. So if your subcommittee chair doesn't like the bill, maybe you go to the chair. If the chair won't move it, you can go to the speaker, because ultimately if the speaker tells them to move it, they're going to move it. Right? We all serve at the mercy, of the speaker. But, depending on what your bill is, you may want to get lobbyists involved. So there's times, where I've approached lobbyists and say, hey, listen, I know you represent group XYZ. I think they'd be really interested in this bill. This is how it could benefit them. And then the lobbyists will go out and you try to build some support. You want to try to build some, grassroots support if you can for it. So, and so you go, once you pass your first subcommittee, you're going to want to get some feedback in the committee. Right? You're going to have different legislators who have never heard the bill, some who are familiar with the concept, some who aren't, and they're going to give you feedback. You also get a bill analysis. So the staff does a pretty informative analysis. And with that, you're going to refine it. So your bill moving into the second stop may be a little bit different, may be entirely different from the first stop.
But this is the way that it's got to be packaged rather to push it.
100%. Yeah.
Is the mindset.
And sometimes you have to have concessions. I've passed bills, which, you're welcome to ask me about any of them, where I've had to pull out things which, I thought were perhaps the heart of the bill.